I've recently had occasion to comfort and console not one, not two, but 3 friends whose fathers left this life and went to meet their Maker. While I was sad for my friends for losing their dads, I felt good that these men had each lived a very long life, and who each of the women had become as a result of being their father's daughters. Each of these relationships faced very different challenges, but they all learned lessons in life from their dads. Fathers who influenced their choices their daughters made as they grew from little girls to smart, successful women. I'm going to start with my friend Stephanie. She was an only child born to immigrants who came to America to escape torture and oppression from Poland. Although Stephanie's father lost his parents at the age of 14, he never lost the ambition to succeed and the love for learning. Leon worked full-time to support his family while he was going to school, and he eventually received his PhD in English, his 9th language. It didn't matter to him that Stephanie spoke Polish only when she started school. He had very high expectations of her. He expected her to excel, and he encouraged her drive. He taught her to keep her eyes on the prize and to never give up. Stephanie followed in his footsteps, and she received her PhD and went on to become vice president of 3 different universities. Her dad was her role model from the beginning, and it served her well. Earlier this month, my cousin Nuala lost her dad, Dermot. He was an immigrant from Ireland and came over to the United States in 1956. He was the 5th child of his family, and both of his parents died before he was 19. He didn't give up. He went on to college. He got his degree in engineering at Dublin University, and then came to the United States and started a lifelong career with PG&E. He then invited his college sweetheart to join him in America and be his bride. He managed his family's finances very well, and his children always felt they were supported and secure and safe. Nuala was the second of 3 children in that family, and life was good until the day her 4-year-old sister was diagnosed with a brain tumor. For 2 years, her parents took care of her sister, and for years later, they grieved overwhelmingly the death of their child, who died the day after her 6th birthday. For Nuala, this meant her childhood was about sacrifice. Her parents were so busy caring for her little sister and so overwhelmed that they became emotionally unavailable to Nuala and her brother for so long that it became a habit. But that didn't stop Nuala. She went to college. She got a degree in nutrition. She went on to get her master's degree in library science, and she has a career as a librarian at a university. You know, in her father's last few years, he came down with Alzheimer's, and so the opportunity for emotional connectedness with his daughter was never to be. But at the funeral, it was clear to me that Nuala had learned the lesson of connectedness and openness. The way I saw her with her 2 beautiful daughters and her husband. Unfortunately, her lessons did not come without heartache. My best friend Pam is the third, and her father died 10 days ago. John also lived a long life, but he didn't put his family first, like Leon did. And he wasn't very responsible with his money, like Dermot was. I guess you could say John was a free spirit. He was also a very successful architect in San Francisco. Unfortunately, John gave his money away to whoever said they needed it. So every letter in the mail from a charity, John gave. And to both of his sons, who were drug addicts, John gave away all his money to. His wife tried to pay the bills, and around that same time, John ran off with his secretary to Hawaii and left his wife and 2 daughters to fend for themselves. In spite of those challenges, my friend Pam graduated from college and developed a successful career in photojournalism. She was drawn into a disciplined lifestyle of yoga and meditation, which she has committed to for 30 years now. In her father's last few years, his secretary wife left him for another man. So he left Hawaii and he moved to Arizona to be by his granddaughter, oh yes, and also Pam. She felt so much anger and resentment towards him while accepting that she would become his caregiver. One day she confronted him head on and spewed all that was inside. To her astonishment, he took responsibility for his actions. She forgave him. She was generous. Pam says she learned she could love herself and be proud of her accomplishments without the approval of her father. I believe that she learned that forgiveness sets you free. Sometimes the lessons aren't so obvious, and sometimes they hurt, and sometimes we learn what not to do. Thank you.